Hits for the pound.
Yeah, this is how we do it in the Central Coast, man. We got 40 ounces, Old English, rag tops, 6'4" Impalas, and bikini girls, man. This is how we do it on the West Coast. San Diego, San Francisco, Los Angeles. But don't forget about the Central Cali, man. Please don't forget about the Central Cali. Yeah, get 'em.
It's another sunny day in the state of California. Low rider palm trees and G's that put it on ya. This ain't a negative, we speaking ebonics. Rank talk, candy paint on D's with hydraulics. Baseball hat with the sticker on the brim. Don't let the sun blind your sight, cause things can get grim. But I'm not here to talk about banana clips and guns. We're going back to Cali and we're gonna have some fun. A West Coast domination.
And welcome back to Duke Entertainment Podcast. I am your host, Fred Sevilla, out here in Monterey County, also known to the world as the Salad Bowl, also known as the Salinas Valley. To the people in LA, we are north. To the people in San Francisco, we are south. Right smack in the middle, best of both worlds. Don't forget about the Central Cali. Anyway, folks, today we are going to talk about loyalty, right? So, those of you who might have seen me also on the round table with Jen Magana, I'll leave a description in the description box below. I'll leave a link in the description box below, guys, so you guys can go check that out. We had talked about that kind of stuff, but I wanted to touch a little bit more on that kind of stuff. You know, I think we're living in a time again that you know, everybody talks about loyalty and loyalty and respect, right? Which is something that I like to say to people sometimes. You know, you talk about loyalty and respect, you know, but when I say it, I mean it, you know. I say my utmost respect to people, you know, because I really see them in that high regard. Don't get me wrong, it's the difference between worshiping and being an actual friend, you know. There's two sides to that story. But no, the situation at hand being that loyalty is something that I think it's a loose term to be thrown around nowadays. And what happens is everybody claims to be loyal. Oh yeah, I'm solid, I'm loyal, I'm, you know, whatever the situation is, right? But yet something comes into play and the loyalty changes. You know, say for example, one of the biggest things, money, right? You're offered more money for something. Say, I'm not talking about a job, I'm talking about just, for example, with a group of friends or whatever. I mean, let me put it to you guys like this. It happens in the music business, whether it's in the higher ups. From the higher up to the lowest person on the totem pole, it happens. You try to help somebody out, and you spend your time, you take time in a sense trying to nurture that artist, trying to take care of them, trying to make sure that they're doing what they're told to kind of get them ready for you know, to shoot them out to the universe in a sense, right? The issue with that is that they don't want that. They want it now. There's no more artist development. And bear with me, guys. I'll get to my point of what I'm getting at here. A lot of them, too, may not be as good as they think they are. You know, usually it's more, the hype is more within themselves. But as a person who takes them in, sometimes we see a potential. And perhaps see, hey, you know what, I could build them into sounding really good and you know, maybe, hey, whatever, right? Biggest mistake ever. It's like being in a bad relationship, right? So what happens from there is, as you're building this person, right? They said, "Oh, look, I have this idea. I want this," you know, and then you have to break it to them sometimes and be like, "No, no, that's not going to work. Hence, because maybe you've already done it and it didn't work, and maybe it's during the time of something that you figured this isn't going to work either way, like, or that's just a terrible idea. Whatever the situation is, the answer is no. Then they start to feel like, oh, okay. So they stick around for a while. Say, for example, you do one song, and what happens is now it's like, hey, you do that to kind of test the waters a little bit. You put this out on social media, right? So what happens from there, you do either a video or a song or something, and then people start to kind of, like this, like, hey, okay, cool. Big mistake. What happens is these artists who perhaps are not as good bank on the name of the label, whether it's independent or major. They bank on the label to make them. They're not into as the late great Tupac Shakur, right up there. He went and enhanced Death Row Records because he had talent. That's the difference now. So jail and being out and jumping on a label does not make you Tupac. At the end of it all, the man was very talented. That's the difference. I've stated that before on this channel. So therefore, what happens now is they start to they start to feel like, hey, I'm getting a bunch of likes, and now everything's going good, and whatever the situation is, right? So you're saying, okay, now I know where to go with this. As a label, you say, I know where to go with this. The problem starts where there's that person's friend on the sidelines saying, hey, you don't need them. You're doing all the work. Look at, dude. Look at you. Look at all the likes you're getting. He didn't do that. You're the one doing it all by yourself. That's where the problem begins. And they go off to do that. Later on, you're like, well, I'm being, they're like, well, I'm being put on the back burner. I came up with an idea. You don't want to do it. And hence, I'll wrap it up all into this. Those of you who may have seen or are a fan of the Rocky franchise, if you saw Rocky 5, Tommy Gunn, with the way Rocky tries to embrace him, take him under his wing, build him, and Tommy Gunn wants it now, and it's just becomes a grateful and a bad thing. Now all of a sudden Rocky's the enemy, so on and so forth. Rocky's full of it, that's what happens. So there goes the loyalty, right? There is no loyalty. That person was out to benefit him or herself. Having an open door policy in your home to people that later on pretty much show you that they despise you for made up reasons sometimes is no loyalty. It's for their own benefit. And I'm not saying jobs, guys, because sometimes people say, well, I'm going over here for more money. Okay, granted, that happens. Bottom line, sometimes it doesn't really work out. It's the job, you have more stuff to do, or whatever the situation is. Now you're really earning that. Now you're really earning that money, and what's the point of being somewhere if you're not happy, right? So I say all that to say this: the grass is not always green on the other side. So for anybody to go to a different a label, a different podcast, a different whatever, when it comes to independent people, for anybody to jump on the bandwagon and go ride with a rival, in a sense, if you will, a rival or a person who just basically, as it was spoken last night, your competition. I don't tend to look at things that way anymore, to be honest with you, but it exists. It does exist. It depends on the perspective that you put it in. I grew to the point where it's like, you know what, man, just yeah, you want to go ahead, get out of here, go, go, and I shut my doors. I shut my doors because I'm just done with it. These people are disloyal. These people are just terrible people to begin with. And here's the situation. This is a lot like, and I saw this happen in the music business. Um, you got one guy who tries to divide and conquer. He tries to divide and conquer. He succeeded, if you will, right, to divide and conquer. And he feels he's on top of the world, but it's just a bad intention and nothing worked out for him. Everything pretty much fell apart. It started off good and it just fell apart. The only thing I really saw was a bunch of pictures. I never heard no music, never anything great that you can say, or people flocking to it. Hence the disloyalty. It just comes with bad karma. It continues on with other things. Unfortunately, sometimes we have to pay that price with other situations. Sometimes be it family. Unfortunately, in other words, karma gets us where it really hurts, right? But again, saying all that to say this. This is the equivalent of, say, for example, you see and speaking from a man's point of view, guys, here, you're male and the girl is cheating on a man, right? With you. And you're like, okay, cool, yeah, whatever. I'm gonna take her from him because I'm, whatever, right? Okay, cool. The same way you gain her is the same way you'll lose her, right? So you got to be careful with that. The same way you gain somebody is the same way you lose them. And that's the situation, and that's a scary situation. So again, hence loyalty is slim to none. Very few little. I tend to say that there's again, people in the old school who truly have loyalty and don't throw it around loosely. It's a big thing to live up to. It's not just a term to be thrown around so easy and whatever. Hey, man, I'm a loyal kind of guy. No. You hang in there until, I myself have hung on to a job. I mean, even though I'm getting paid peanuts, for that matter, and I'm doing everything under the sun and everything for it under the sun, I stay loyal until it starts to crash, and so something starts to crash, then it becomes a problem, you know, um, then it's time to move on. When they start to pretty much expose themselves, just kind of show that they hate you or whatnot, right? Or trying to dictate you. That happens in jobs, guys. Unfortunately, that's the reality. People don't want to accept it. So for me to say, yeah, I'm a loyal kind of guy, yeah, I am up until I feel I shouldn't be. Um, I'll stick around and somewhere with somebody and ride or die with them, until say for example I'm in the studio and I'm working with another label or producer or in conjunction with them or whatnot. Once they start to disrespect, once they start to kind of feel like, well, I'm the one in control, then that's where I start to back off. I start to back off a little bit. I start to just, whenever the music's being recorded or whatever situation's going on, like, oh, well, what do you think? It's cool. It's cool. I'm no longer into it. I'm no longer comfortable. That's not a place for me to be at. And I am the type of person, I've said it here before, I'm a very grudgeful person. And if I cut you off, I cut you off. I have no intention to ever visit you again. I have no intention to even, I'll be civil, we can be civil. I'm not gonna go over show up and every time I see you we're gonna fight. That's not the situation. But for me to look and seek for your friendship is not going to happen. You know, so that's where I stand with it. I look big on loyalty. You know, I look big on loyalty in people. You know, and as bad as it may seem, I hate to say it, it's gotten worse and worse and worse. It's diminishing. It's a diminishing thing. And you know, maybe somebody, you know, this is the World Wide Web, guys. Somebody can say, hey, well, you know what? Well, see, loyalty also with this, whatever the situation is. You could throw up whatever smoke screen, you could spin it any other way. But to me, if you don't have loyalty, you don't got nothing, man. You don't got nothing. And I don't care how you slice it and dice it. You just don't, you know. I've got friends who I admire the friendship. I could call on them. And I don't care if they live on whatever side of the state or whatever situation may be. They're considered my friends. That's loyalty. Well, you don't put a boundary between you and that person, you know, or whatever the situation is. There are no boundaries. They're your friend, and that's the bottom line. I don't care if they're gang affiliated, if they're special needs, if they're a little weird to people, whatever the situation. If they're your friend, they're your friend. That's just the bottom line to it. So loyalty is a lot deeper than what people are throwing it out to be. Some people get it tattooed and stuff like that, you know, but it's a lot to live up to, guys. It's a tattoo that's just as bad as putting a spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever's name on you. It's a bold move. It's a bold move because it's hard to live up to. Not hard to live up to. I don't say hard to live up to. It's a lot to live up to, and you gotta really be down for yours. Are there exceptions sometimes where you'll just be like, man, I gotta bounce out of this? Yeah, there is. You know, but very slim to none. Loyalty remains. Hence, what I mean by that too is also, again, you have a fallout with somebody, right? And that person confided in you with something, you know, during the time you guys were close. Your loyalty still remains, whether you may not get along with them, but your loyalty remains to them because it's something that what they confide in you, you're not going to spill now. And you're going to take that to the grave. See, that's still loyalty. But there's not a lot of people like that anymore. That's the unfortunate. But anyways, guys, that's all I wanted to say on this topic. I wish you all love and respect. And, you know, really take into what I just spoke on right now, guys. I think the old school morality, the things we stand on are slipping away, fading away, and being diminished, and the smoke screen's coming up, making it seem like, no, it's okay to do that. It's not. It's not. And I will go to the grave saying that. Anyhow, guys, with that, this is Two Face Entertainment Podcast. I'm your host, Fred Segura, signing out.
Haters shake the fist, suckers preaching me rolling. Why you so mad? Why you so serious? You're in my rear view like the slow and delirious. Keep on mashing, getting plenty action. The home of the G's and pimps, I love it with a passion. Throw it up, it's California, where the sun lays to rest like every day. The home of the color rack, swap meets and bangers. Chuck Taylor's lolos and them real dope slangers. This is reality, it's where I stay. Along the Pacific in the state of CA. Golden State, from Frisco to Compton and back to Central Cali where the party keeps rocking. It's a California state of mind, and you can't be mad, that's just how we ride. Golden State.
But it's really for me. I'm not saying that I'm greedy, but hip hop is needy, so what the hell
hell do you expect from me? It's the passion, I finally understand it. I'm hiding in the trees like a male praying mantis, searching for my prey. God, please come and bless me, help relieve my stress so I don't worry about death. Never said I was leaving, but dreaming on like Steven. Fallen angel, I'm Zeppelin, not ready for heaven. So please tell me, is there another way? So I can look up in the sky and say thank you for these better days.
1, 2, Vegas coming for you. 3, 4, better lock your doors. 5, 6, hip hop with the twist. 7, 8, please don't hate. 1, 2, Vegas coming for you.